Hello fellow cinephiles, Film Guru here. Today I'm reviewing Promising Young Woman. This was written and directed by actress Emerald Fennell and stars Carey Mulligan, Bo Burnham, Alison Brie, Max Greenfield and a variety of others. The film really focuses on Cassie, played by Carey Mulligan. She was a promising young woman until a mysterious event abruptly derailed her future. However, nothing in Cassie's life is what it seems to be. She's wickedly smart and tantalizingly cunning. And she's living a double life by night. An unexpected encounter is about to give Cassie a chance to right the wrongs of her past. I thought this film was interesting. There's aspects of this film I really liked and some aspects I didn't. So I'll start with the positive stuff I enjoyed. I thought it was a very interesting concept and a very interesting story. I thought Carey Mulligan was fantastic. It's been a while since I've seen her in anything, and I thought she did a really solid job here playing Cassie. There were certain scenes shot in a particular way that was sort of inventive and interesting, which I really liked. Some of the music choices really worked, others didn't. What I found most engaging was the scenes about her going out, pretending to be drunk and luring these men at home or luring them back to their place and ultimately teaching them a lesson. I thought these aspects were interesting. I thought that part of the film was really fascinating. I wanted to know more about it. I wanted to know how she went about it, why she did it. She has other people involved in it, and it's kind of an interesting story element. It's a subject matter I wanted to know more about, and we didn't quite get as much as I really wanted to, but I enjoyed the aspects we did get. All the scenes with Carey Mulligan sort of righting wrongs, I really love these scenes. They were really great, they're effective. We get to see her psyche and how smart she is and manipulative she can be and how she can sort of maneuver things into her way. There's this ultimate element of her flicking on these switches and becoming something else, and I kind of like that aspect to it. I thought the third act was quite good and her in it was really good. I like how they were sort of slowly revealing particular information about her past and something that transpired. I kind of liked that. I thought that was a good way to go about learning who this person was and what they'd been through. I thought all the acting was solid, especially from Carey Mulligan. Bo Burnham was solid in his small role. I thought it was interestingly shot in particular sequences, and I like what the filmmaker was trying to convey in the story they were trying to tell. I really enjoyed that. I like that Carey Mulligan's character Cassie is the one we see the world through when we follow her on her journey. And I like how we got to see different elements of her psyche, and like I said, the way she's able to flip on switches inside her mind and become something she needs to be for that particular circumstance. I thought the ending was an interesting choice. I don't know if I loved the ending, but there was an interesting choices made there. I thought it was clever. And I was entertained and engaged with the story enough to enjoy it. That's kind of all I really liked about it. I felt conflicted with this film. I didn't know how to feel coming out of it. I didn't know what to make of it to begin with. I had to sit down and think about it quite a bit because I didn't know what I wanted to say about or what I really thought about the film in general. Some of the music choices just didn't work, especially the song at the start and a few songs throughout the film that just really felt a bit out of place. I know they were going through the contrast, they were going through the song that contrasts what's happening, the dark or disturbing thing happening with a sort of a lighter piece of music, and I could respect that. It's just some of the choices made with those songs didn't quite work. There was a lot of exposition. There was a lot of characters explaining things rather than showing them. And I would have rather seen something shown more often than not. And I know that sometimes it comes down to budget restraints and what they're able to show, but I'm noticing a lot more that films are talking about things rather than showing them. This is an event. There's something that happened that involved Cassie. And I just really wish we got to see it. We heard aspects to it. And these things talked about, but I thought if we had seen this particular scene, it would have had a much more fuller impact on the film and what we thought about the character and why she's doing what she's doing. Without it, it still has an impact, but just not the impact that I felt it could have. There's a choice made at the end that I don't know if I really like. I can see why it was done, and I can see why the film was leading to that, but I just felt a bit out of place and a bit shocked by the choice that they made, and I think it robs that character just a little bit. But the thing that I struggled most with was the tone. This film didn't really seem to know what tone it wanted or what direction or what story it wanted to tell. And I just recently learned today that this is meant to be a black comedy, and it has aspects of that, but it also sort of feels like something completely different. But it just wasn't fully realised like I think it could have been. This film sort of has this creative and intriguing way it's shot in slow motion, and the humour that comes from those scenes are quite interesting. But it sort of starts out as sort of a bit lighter and a bit fun, and it sets up this thing that's going to be entertaining, and it feels like Harley Quinn in a lot of ways, and those sort of characters, or Guns Akimbo. But it doesn't keep that up. It doesn't keep that momentum up, and it doesn't make use of all of this throughout the whole film, which I thought was a little disappointing. And there's elements of drama into it, but there's also this element of a romantic comedy. It just comes out of nowhere in a way. I can see why they sort of went down this track for the characters, but it just felt out of place for the whole film. It was dark in elements, but not as dark as it could have been. I felt in a way they played it safe. I just felt there was elements they could have pushed a bit more and made it a little bit more darker and exposed things a lot more than they did. But overall, I thought it was an interesting film, interesting concept. I wish it went in certain directions that it didn't. Final thoughts. In the end, it's really about how things from our past can have a longing effect on us. How we can hang on to these things and they can affect us, and we try and make sense of them, try and work through them, but sometimes they hold on to us too tight that we just don't really know which way's up or which direction to head down, and we sort of feel stuck. And I feel that's what this film is really trying to say. I'm going to give Promising Young Woman 3.5 out of 5. Even though there was elements to it I really enjoyed, and it was sort of entertaining in parts, it wasn't as good as it really could have been, and it could have been something really special if they just were able to take more risks and push the boundaries a little bit more. Anyway, that's all from me today. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, please subscribe down the bottom. Follow me on Facebook. Otherwise, until next time, enjoy the movies.